Hey hotties, welcome back to the Real House Guest of North Hollywood. I'm your host, Carson Frey. Let's talk all things Bravo. Wow, what a week, what a week. Let's just straight up get into the Bravo news because there's a lot. So number one is there's so much drama going on with all the side characters from VPR. The whole main cast quiet, really. I mean, we got the sandwich shop going with Katie and Ariana, per usual, but pretty much quiet for everyone else. But man, Tom's off doing Trader, so he's in Scotland, so he doesn't even have his phone. Billie Lee had Joe on her podcast, and basically what Billie Lee claimed is that just Tom and Victoria are in this toxic drug-fueled relationship. Sorry, I've read it open for notes on this because it's so complicated, and I'm only going to give you guys the highlights, the best parts. If you want all of it, it's on the internet, go for it. But basically Billie Lee was they're alcoholics, they're addicts. She said Victoria moved all of Ariana's stuff out of the primary bedroom and forced Tom to move into the primary bedroom. She said Victoria doesn't work, they sleep all day, there's drugs all over the house, and they said drugs. Normally on VPR they don't outwardly say that, but Billie Lee said that. And basically says Tom's on this downward spiral, and she tried to set up an intervention and it didn't work. And then Victoria, she came on on Up and Adams podcast with Kyle Chan, Tom Sandoval's right-hand man, and basically was well, the only reason she was one, none of the stuff about moving Ariana stuff is true. She was I respect Ariana, all this stuff. She was the reason I slur my speech is I was in a car accident, and I didn't like Billie Lee because Billie Lee told Victoria that Kyle Chan tried to drug and rape Tom Sandoval, and so Victoria didn't want to be around Kyle, but then Billie Lee told Kyle something about Victoria, basically trying to turn them against each other is what they're saying, their stance is. I'm not saying what I think. The whole thing is insane. I don't know who to believe. Maybe there's truth in both. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, if you want to go on a deep dive on that, it's on the internet. It's there. I posted some of the bits from the Up and Adam. What I found interesting is reels on my Instagram, so you can check that out. How are we all feeling about Summer House? Reunion came out this week. I'm going to do, I think, a full episode on all three parts. Like I said I was going to do for VPR, but I got COVID, okay? No, I'm really going to do it for Summer House. But man, I knew where it was going with Wes because it was going so far up. Where else could it go but down? But I really just I feel for Sierra a lot. I feel I've been in her shoes, and I'm really excited for her to be on Traitors. And yeah, the more I digest Carl and Lindsay, it's it's just messy. It's just even during the reunion, I was I know we're going to get a lot of Carl and Lindsay, and I want some of it. But the other parts I find interesting too. Oh my god. Also in Bravo News, everyone is not liking Danielle's app. They're saying it's glitchy. It's basically you upload photos and it just randomizes how to put stuff together. It's not thought out at all. It's just very glitchy. I saw this one girl was I thought Danielle has been making this for years. It seems she literally just thought of it when Paige called her out for, like, CEO of what? She was like, oh, let me Scrabble. Okay, let me just throw this together. Because there's nothing original about, like, a closet organizing app. And also, Danielle's not even known for her fashions. I don't know. I'm not a Danielle girl. Sorry, girl. This is, like, we're going to talk about this in the best way we can. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta is filming right now. There's this new girl. It's being reported that Kenya Moore unveiled posters that the newbie Brittany Eady, is that how you say her last name? Allegedly performing oral sex at Kenya Hare's spa event. Brittany was not in attendance, and in contrary to reports, she did not threaten Kenya with a gun. And then Kenya came out with an Instagram being like, none of it's true. It's just, it seems messy, but I'm excited for the season of Atlanta. Am I a bad person? No, I'm a garbage person. Not a bad person, a garbage person. Two different things. Okay, so let's talk about the Valley. It was the finale. The Valley finale. Is that fun to say? Valley finale. Yeah, I like saying that. I'm so sad there's no reunion. There should be a reunion. Do you think Janet's happy there's not a reunion? I bet she is. So it's called Opening Bars, Closing Chapters. So it opens with Brittany and Jax, like, prepping the bar, and they just, like, Jax seems so out of it. I really wonder how many brain cells he has left, because it seems like sometimes when he talks, like, there's literally, like, goldfish up there. Like, I don't know. We have a quick sit down with Danny and Nia. They're not on the same page still about where to move. Shocker. Yeah, I'm really kind of with Nia on that one. Like, she's already feeling isolated as a mother. Like, it is a little far. But it's so cute how they're like, we'll compromise and meet in the middle. Huh. They're very giving, like, I know they're not perfect. I'm not going to say that anymore. But they are very much like Disney Prince and Princess vibes. We see Zach and Jasmine meet up, and Zach just kind of straight in is like, so, I wasn't invited on the trip. What was my effect with this, and this? Like, and Jasmine gives it to him. Man, and then we see Brittany and Jax, like, starting. They're going to do their soft opening for the bar, and Jax looks so over it and over Brittany. Like, Brittany is doing all this work for this bar that she did not even want. And it just, like, it pisses me off. Like, knowing, we'll get to the end, but knowing, it just makes me mad. Like, I've gone back and forth with Brittany over the years. Sometimes I'm like, I love her. Sometimes I hate her. I know the internet is not nice to Brittany. I will literally fight someone for Brittany right now. That's how I feel. And then she even flew in his sister and his brother-in-law for the soft opening. Like, he's treating her terribly, and she's still doing everything for this man. And Jax, like, when he looks at her, like, he looks past her. Like, Brittany goes, Jax, it feels like you're not even attracted to me. And he's like nothingness going on. They never tried for that baby, like they talked about. Then we see Kristen and Luke talking about how they're about to not move, but, like, go on a month-long trip. I learned recently that Luke is from the same state I'm from, which is insane. I should have known. He was a Hoosier. Yeah, justice for Kristen Doute, honestly. Like, she should have been in more of this season. Like, it sucks that Janet iced her out, but, like, the audience sees through it, so you'll be fine, Kristen. The audience is now on your side. How does that feel? Because I feel like she didn't get that a lot in VPR with the audience being on her side. I hope it feels good now. Kristen does admit, though, that she did misspeak a little bit. She was like, Michelle had a boyfriend for a year. What she meant was she had a boyfriend like a year ago. But you know what? We're riding for Kristen right now. But I get it. Like, when you're, like, in the moment, everything's happening, like, I do that all the time. Like, I will constantly be like, say something like that and I'll totally mean the other thing. And if my partner doesn't get what I meant and he's like, but you said this, but I'm like, you should have known what I meant though, even though that's not what I said. Luke's eyes when Kristen said she didn't blame, she was, because Kristen, they're talking about the whole like Michelle cheating thing, and Kristen's like, yeah, I don't blame Michelle because Jesse was like treating her terribly, and Luke's eyes were like, ooh, don't treat Kristen badly. Jesse then says he wants Michelle to say every morning that he's a great husband and a great father. Like, that is some Stepford wife shit. Like, imagine Michelle waking up like, oh, Jesse, you're a great husband. You're like, no. And you're not. Like, if you want that, be a great husband. Be a great father. I'm sure she would say that to you then. Like, why do men sometimes want, like, compliments when they don't deserve it? Like, if you do something good, I'll say good job. Michelle says it's really sad. She says she wants to be in love with Jesse really bad, but just, like, doesn't know if she can. Which is sad, because they have a kid together. So then we're at the soft opening of Jax's. Schwartzy's there. And immediately we see Zach and Janet get into it. And then the fight is so stupid because it's just like when things don't go Janet's way, she just like, hey, everyone who's watching on video, we got a Nancy appearance possibly. I don't know if she made it on camera, but she definitely just walked by. Come here, baby. Be right here. Yeah, that's a good spot for Nancy. Okay. Okay, so Zach and Janet get into it, and it's so stupid because basically whenever it doesn't go how Janet wants it to go, she just, like, gets mad and, like, doesn't listen and doesn't really have a comeback, changes her story all the time. Like, she had this plan of how it would all go, and it didn't go that way, and she couldn't adapt. She really thought she was going to be the Stassi, you know? And then Janet gets into it with Jasmine because Jasmine doesn't want to just agree with everything she says. And she basically is like, you're on my team or you're my enemy to everyone. And it's like, when you have multiple friendships with multiple people, you have to be willing to listen and, like, let others listen and think for themselves. Like, it's not high school. You're literally all parents and children. Did anyone else see Ariana Madix's brother in the background on the Valley? Because I definitely did. Look at the scene where Kristen and Michelle kind of talk for a second. He's in the background. So the whole thing with the delivering the message about Zach not being able to go on the baby moon. Jax says he was told to deliver the message. Janet has said both things on and off. I can't even remember what her final, like, statement is because she changed it so many times. And then Michelle and Kristen get into it, and Kristen says the most truthful thing the whole episode. Janet started it. And she does. Janet did start it. And she starts everything. Jax then goes to call out Janet, and Janet just leaves. She just leaves. And you know the whole thing about, like, because really if we back it up to, like, the beginning of the series, what was the drama about? They called Michelle Republican. I heard Janet was a registered Republican in Ohio in 2014. Girl, Janet, you cannot throw stones at glass houses. Like, no. I cannot with that. How sad, though, was it when, like, midway episode, Jax is like, me and Brittany beat the odds. I opened a bar and we didn't split up. And then, like, what? How many months later, they show the TMZ video with Michelle and Brittany. It's kind of, like, no other Bravo shows would they show, like, the TMZ video. But, like, you have to with the Valley. You have to. So it's March 2nd. And then we see Jesse and Michelle at doing their, like, drop-off exchange. So 3 days after they wrapped, Michelle ended the marriage. Jesse said he felt blindsided. Jesse saying he felt blindsided is the same energy as Lindsay saying she was blindsided. It's the same exact thing. There is no nuance, no difference, because how were either of them blindsided? Man, Michelle and Jesse are in a shitstorm of trying to like split everything and split their life because like their works together, their kid, their dog, like so much stuff. But I love seeing Michelle stronger, and I love seeing like she seems so different. And I know everyone's saying this, and this is what I kind of thought like she was like, and she seemed passive on the show. But seeing her confidence and her strength of saying, no, this is how it is. Hell yeah, girl. And I think she's going to have a comeback. Like, I really think the audience is going to be like her a lot more, you know, without Jesse. Um, the saddest moment, though, is when Isabel overhears her parents fighting and, like, walks in to try and, like, she's like, Mommy, I need this. And, like, it, like, I'm not going to lie, I started crying. Like, it took me back to, like, being a kid because, like, I grew up with divorced parents. I think I was 8 when my parents finally were living apart. The body knows, the body keeps count. Kids remember shit from when they're 4 years old, 3 years old. Like, that's our primal, you know, and even if you don't think you remember, your body remembers. And yeah, it just made me really sad. The girls then have like a sit down with Michelle, Janet, Nia, Brittany. Jason goes to Jax's to check in, and Jax complains about the paparazzi. It seems like he loves it, though. Jax refused to leave the house, just like Jesse refused to leave the marital home, like, literally forcing these women to, like, figure it all out by themselves, and they are. They're doing it. It's just, like, it's so messed up. And it was so sad to me when Brittany said basically the only reason she hasn't filed is her family, because it took so many years to get her family on board with Jax. Like, it's just very difficult for her to file. Zach has a new boyfriend. Outside the divorces, Zach has a new boyfriend. And Kristen talked about her miscarriage she had in September. They're sending you love, Kristen Doty. Okay, so that last scene with Jax and Brittany. Man, first off, I want to say I love you, Brittany. I love your confidence. I love your strength. This is how you should be operating, and I hope you are. I hope you come into next season with this energy. It'll serve you well. I love when she called Jax out for only making an appointment because they were filming, because that is, like, the truth of Jax Taylor, and there's been so much Brittany's not been saying, but is true. And that appointment he made when they were filming, he never went. Because he doesn't care about the marriage. He doesn't value it. He doesn't value his family. Otherwise, he would have gone. Because if he wanted to, he would. Like, my life got so much better when I no longer allowed myself to let men into my life whose actions did not match their words. If he wanted to, he would. And the gaslighting her of saying she didn't have to leave when he was literally mentally torturing her. Like, all of her health problems that she had been having, gone. Gone once her and Jax, like, weren't living together. Like, she was fine, not puking. It's just, like, this, literally a psychologist could show this to their students, be like, this is what gaslighting looks like. And then the fact that he lied on TV on House of Villains about having a stroke, like, what I want from next season of The Valley, I want Brittany to have a really, really hot boyfriend. I want it to be like the same vibe from Southern Charm. You know, Madison from Southern Charm, when she went from Austin, who, like, cheated on her a bunch, to the really, really hot firefighter who, like, loves her kid and was totally ready and married her within, like, a year. I want that for Brittany. I want him to be so hot. I want him to be younger than Jax. And I want this guy to be smart. Yeah. I want, also on The Valley next season, I want less Janet, more Kristen, as usual. I want more Michelle. I want still Michelle and Jesse. I don't want any VPR members. Alex Baskin already promised us. I want Jasmine full-time. And I want her girlfriend on the show. Okay. Alex Baskin, I will be sending you an email with my notes. Just kidding. But Alex Baskin, if I could have your email. Just kidding. Let's do, because Housewives is back, like New Jersey's back. I keep telling you guys I'm going to review it, and I'm watching. But, like, my notes are not, like, interesting. Like, I don't know. Like, I take these notes, and normally I'm like scrolling. And, like, when I, do the pod, I'm, like, scrolling through my notes. If there's 4 notes there, that's not interesting, you guys. And I promise you, I'll let you know what's interesting. What's good, what's bad, what's interesting. And I think it's bad still. Like, one good scene in a whole episode of, like, 5 boring episodes doesn't make it worth reviewing. Because people were like, oh, the fight with Rachel and Teresa. Yeah, that was good. Okay, so let's talk about Dubai. I'll be real. Dubai last season, not good. The only reason I'm really watching is because I met Lisa when I went to that watch party, and I was just kind of, when you see a housewife IRL, it's kind of like it almost doesn't feel real. So the episode opens with Lisa and Ayan going to this thing called paddle. It looks like pickleball to me, but it's like the bougie Dubai version. And she says she wants to be friend with, I wrote in my notes the white lady, but that's Carolyn, the blonde lady. And then we see Caroline with her, I think it's her husband. Yeah, she got married last season to Sergio, and they're still building their house. So I guess that would be their storyline this season. They talked about how getting a mortgage in Dubai is, like, extremely hard. Like, Caroline said she had to do this insane fitness test to, like, be able to qualify for a mortgage there. Like, I want to know all the regulations. Like, it's like doing almost like insurance. You would do, like, a fitness test, but to get a mortgage. Sergio wants to have a baby ASAP. They have an embryo, and it's clear Caroline just doesn't want to have a baby. And then we have the other Caroline, and she just opened a salon, and her ex-husband built it for her. And then we see Sarah. I think she was on last season. Yeah. And she's doing all this, like, spiritual healing. She reminds me of Asa from Jaws of Sunset. Like, same vibe. But she wants a man. Sarah is ready for her man because she is healed and ready. And then Sarah just starts, like, going through, like, all of her trauma, like, listing out all of her trauma, like, when doing this, like, spiritual healing session. Yeah, I wrote on my notes, Asa 2.0, like, it doesn't feel that authentic. Because Asa wasn't known for being super authentic, you know? And then we see Lisa, and she is in her soccer mom era. She's putting, like, a lot of pressure on her, like, 3 and 6-year-old sons to be, like, soccer superstars. It's like, okay. And then Ayan and Carolyn have lunch, and they talk about how, like, their kids are all looking at college in America, and they're like, oh, it's so unsafe in America. It's not like Dubai. And I would be really interested to hear them talk about more of that. Like, why is America, like, I know why I think America is unsafe, but why do you think America is unsafe? And, like, what does safety look like in different places for different people? I don't know. It's just because it's an international series, so it's like, it's something we talk about when we travel. Is it safe to go to Dubai? Is it safe to go as a woman? Is it safe to go as a black person, as a gay person? Also, happy Pride, y'all. And then we meet our new housewife, Taylene, who's from LA, and she's a friend of Caroline's. Oh my god. Back to Ayan, though. She just says to Caroline she has no idea how old she is. And she was like, you might be older than me. So then Stanberry called Caroline about how drunk Taylene was at the Beyonce Dubai concert. Do you guys remember that last year, the Beyonce Dubai? That's basically the not even somewhat drama of the first episode. They talk about how it's winter in Dubai and it's 94 degrees Fahrenheit. 94! That's their winter. Oh my god, like, no. Taylene, too, when we meet her, she's like, I'm a singer, and she just name drops pretty much, like, every C-list or I can't even remember. It was just name drop, name drop, name drop, name drop. Man, Ayan though, she just starts crying. So they're all at the brunch, and she just starts crying, and she's like, how her words have hurt. Sarah's words have like hurt her, and like she was like, it's like a knife to the back. And then they're like getting into it, and Stanberry's like, this is uninteresting. Go away and have this conversation, like just the two of you. She's like, I don't want to be a part of it. Ayan really reminds me of Teresa from New Jersey. And maybe that's why she got cast. Because Ayan's kind of like the center, kind of like Teresa's the center of New Jersey. And they're just going on and off about how, like, Sarah said some stuff to the press, and she's like, I didn't say it like that. And Ayan's like, no, you did. You did. That's how you said it. That's what you said. And then Taylene goes in with Caroline about, she's like, well, you said I was drunk and this and that, and Ayan and Sarah don't make up, and I don't know. Taylene gives me a kind of like Sonia Morgan vibes, because she's like fighting with this girl, and then she's like, let's all take shots. It's like, okay. Yeah, Dubai, it's good. I'll keep watching. I watch everything, but I'm very excited for Orange County next month. It's premiering. Very excited about that. I'm just excited also for Southern Charm to come back. I know it's like we have some time still, but I'm just excited for that. But yeah, this was a fun episode. Thank you guys so much. Oh, we have merch. Buy our merch. If you go on my Instagram, there's, you know, when people say link in bio, go to my link in bio and buy our merch because it's there. My aunt designed it. It's amazing. It's cool. There's stickers, there's t-shirts, there's magnets, there's all types of stuff. Support the podcast. Tell your friends. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You can email me if you want. I love you guys. Happy Pride. I'll see you next week.